Next, using punctuation as a Shakespeare performance tool. Woohoo! So, the minute you say punctuation, a lot of people go, punctuation, I hate punctuation. I love punctuation. And this is how I make punctuation fun, much like the iambic pentameter thing. So, here are the materials that we have here. Are objective for the administrators. Students will identify and utilize punctuation to frame and amplify phrasing in a Shakespeare text. Dear John handout. I'm going to click on the Dear John handout. Anybody seen this before? Have you seen this before? Okay, cool. Makes me happy. So here is a letter without punctuation. I'm going to read it. Dear John, I want a man who knows the letters about you, and generous, kind, thoughtful people who are not vicious, inferior. I have ruined me for other ruin. I yearn for you. I have feelings whatsoever. When we're apart, I can be forever happy. Let me be yours, Gloria. Okay, really, really fun, right? Bunch of words all thrown together, no language. Next, I have one of the students read this. A girl who really loves love letters. She says, Dear John, I want a man who knows what love is all about. You are generous, kind, thoughtful. People who are not like you admit to being useless and inferior. You have ruined me for other men. I yearn for you. I have no feelings whatsoever when we're apart. I can be forever happy. Will you let me be yours, Gloria? That is a love letter, correct? Yep. I get somebody else up there, and they read this. Very same words. Dear John, I want a man who knows what love is. All about you are generous, kind, thoughtful people who are not like you. Admit to being useless and inferior. You have ruined me. For other men I yearn. For you I have no feelings whatsoever. When we're apart, I can be forever happy. Will you let me be yours, Gloria? Very, very same words. Kids start laughing. Kids engaged. They look at the both. They go, that's cool. That's cool. Power of punctuation. Power of phrasing. Shakespeare uses punctuation, and we tend to slaughter him by not using it the way he probably originally intended. But I'm not even worried about original practice. What I'm worried about is, here's some tools. So, Romeo and Juliet monologue handout, okay? Pop this up. I got a whole bunch of different Romeo and Juliet things that we can have here, okay? All right? And I know we're an hour and a half into this, but I'm so excited about this. So what happens here is I get the group up and I stand them in a circle. And when I stand them in a circle, I say, you're going to read until the first punctuation mark. And so for now, because there's only 4 of us in this class, I think I can make this work. The order is going to be as follows. Megan will go first, then Leslie will go, then Carmen will go, then Jason will go, okay? And Sarah's listening and will think this is really cool, okay? Ready? So go to your first punctuation mark. I want you to act it, but to your first punctuation mark. Ready for that order? Megan, you're on first. Ready? And do your first bit of text. Oh, sorry, microphone's on. All microphones on. Sorry.
Sorry, I forgot.
Yep. Okay, ready? And you did, okay, so ready? And do that line again.
Farewell.
Leslie?
God knows when we shall meet again. I have a faint, cold fear.
Whoa.
Sorry. God knows when we shall meet again.
You took my part.
Yep,
well,
yep.
I was helping you out.
Yeah. Just so you know, this is exactly what happens with the kids. It's exactly what happens. And it's what we're in the habit of doing, okay? All right, good. So, yeah, you're doing great, Leslie. Ready, go ahead. Carmine, go ahead.
I have a faint, cold fear thrills through my veins.
That almost freezes up the heat of life.
Good, hold. Now, I'm going to teach you something now. I want you went to the punctuation, well done, which was good and still taught us something. But I want us to go to the end stop. End stops are periods, semicolons, exclamation points, question marks, not commas. Commas, we plow through. Got it? Okay. So, Carmen, you do. And you, Jason, man, you were just right on the spot there. Well done. So, Carmen, do again. I have a faint cold fear.
I have a faint cold fear thrills through my veins that almost freezes up the heat of life.
Jason?
I'll call them back again to comfort me. Nurse? What should we do here?
Yeah. Cool. Yep. Yeah. So you want to do the same thing. You want to say, I'll call them back again to comfort me, nurse, because that's a colon, but I'll call them back again to comfort me, single thought. And then Megan gets another beautiful one-word line. And she says,
Nurse.
and then Leslie says,
What should she do here?
next scene.
My dismal scene, I needs must act alone.
Next.
Come, Vile.
Next.
What if this mixture do not work at all?
Next.
Shall I be married then tomorrow morning?
Go.
No.
This shall forbid it.
Lie thou there.
Good. Well done. So this is no different than the kids. So at this point, I ask, what did you notice? What did you notice about the phrasing of that line, doing it that way? What did you notice?
A lot of different thoughts going on.
Ooh, yeah. A lot of different individual thoughts, right? I mean, every single one of us. And every individual thought is an acting choice. Every individual. Farewell. God knows when we shall meet again. I have a faint, cold fear that almost fills up the heat of life. I'll call them back again to comfort me. Nurse, what should she do here? This girl's doing this, right? Up, down, up, down. Come, Vile. I mean, one of my favorite is the no. This shall forbid it. Lie thou there.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Sorry. Two caesuras in the same line.
Yes.
In the same line.
Tell us what a caesura is. What is that?
A caesura is when you reach the end of a clause in the middle of a line.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't have to be a period, but like Michael said, it's the end of a sentence, the end of a clause.
Mm-hmm.
So that it creates a break that should match a breakage suggested by the meaning, some kind of heaviness, some kind of impediment, some kind of burden, some kind of refusal or rejection.
Yes. Cool. So I will tell you, this paragraph works so well that you could use this for the rest of your career and you'll just be fine. But go across the page to hang out the young baggage, disobedient wretch. The same thing happens. Hang out the young baggage, disobedient wretch. There are three thoughts there. Hang the young baggage, disobedient wretch. There's three thoughts there if you choose to do it that way. Or there's one thought. I tell thee what, get thee to church on Thursday or never look after me in the face. Speak not, reply not, do not answer me. My fingers itch. Wife, we scarce us blessed that God lent us but this one child, but now I see this one is too much for that having a curse is having her. Out on her, Hilding, God's bread, it makes me mad. Day, night, hour, tide, time, work, play, alone, in company, still my care hath been to have her matched, and having now provided a gentleman noble parentage affair, nemesis youthful and nobly trained, stuffed, as he say, with honorable parts, proportionate as one. Now, here's what happens. Here's what's really cool. You're standing in the circle, and you're doing this exercise with them. And all of a sudden, that football player gets that line, and he goes, holy crap, look how long that line is. So what is that telling us? What do you have to do as an actor with that long of a line? Breath. You got to drive. And this is a thing that I say. Drive is where if there's a pulse, you just got to do. Same thing happens over on this side over here. Let me move this speech down. What if it be poison which the friar subtly hath mixed to have me dead, lest his in marriage he be dishonored because he hath married me before to Romeo? I fear it is. And then methinks it's not, for he hath even tried a holy man. How if, when loaded in the tomb before the throne, a fearful point. There's a frightful moment, it goes on. And then, so the same thing happens. So Shakespeare's telling us there's a drive here, there's that breakup there, etc. Now, what's cool is I've got a whole bunch of different choices here. So this banishment thing, and the next thing, before I jump back to the page, I'm just going to tell you how to use this tool for sake of time. You have them stand up. They take the piece of paper in their hand, and they're going to walk around the classroom. And whenever you get to, I don't even know if you can see me, but they're going to walk around the classroom. And when they get to an end stop, they're going to change direction. So it will read, I need my glasses for this. Ha, banishment. Ha, banishment. Change direction. Be merciful, say death. change direction. For exhale, much more tearing his look than da 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 da. Change direction. Okay. It's a really, really wonderful, not a viewpoints exercise, not a, it tells you to physically change direction as you move in space. I then asked them, what did you notice? It's really hard to read and walk at the same time. All right, thank you, Troy. I appreciate that. What else did we notice? And they'll say, wow, I mean, look at this. 'Tis torture and not mercy. Heaven is here where Juliet lives. And every cat and dog and little mouse, every unworthy thing live there in heaven and may look on her. And they begin to say, I found I had to make sure that I had enough room to walk for those longer things as we move around. Again, physical eyes, tell them where it is in the text. And kids can do this. I've done this with 5th grade, 6th grade. I mean, they get it. They get it. Are there language challenges? Yeah. Have they ever seen a word like fiend angelical? Yeah, that's sometimes hard, to get them into that. But it is possible for them to identify and say, oh, I see. Okay, cool. And suddenly, punctuation is not some scary bad thing. It's an acting clue. It's a tool that you can use for that. Okay. Let me make sure I covered everything. Romeo and Juliet. What do we learn? Romeo's mom. Yeah, go ahead.
That
Yes.
in with that punctuation exercise, that would be really useful, like if you teach any AP classes or anything like that, because that's one of the things that they struggle with is syntax and seeing how syntax is revealing of the character's emotions or the author's purpose or whatever.
Yeah.
So I could definitely see that using that outside of even a Shakespearean unit. That's a really wonderful gateway into looking at syntax, even in prose, not just verse.
Absolutely. And I don't have it in here, but one of my favorite, Edgar Allan Poe, The Bells. Do you know Edgar Allan Poe, The Bells? I love it. I actually will sometimes start a Shakespeare unit in an English class with that instead of Shakespeare, because, oh man, I just want, you all know it, right? Do you all know The Bells? Jason, do you know The Bells? I don't know if you're not.
I'm not sure I know that one.
Let me see if I can, I will send you a copy. I'll send it just like I sent the games earlier today. I'll send it to you. It starts with,
Pulled it up.
is it worth it? It starts with a stanza. Hear the jingling and the tinkling of the bells, silver bells. What a world of melody their harmony foretells. In the icy air of night, how they tinkle with delight. Jing, 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 jing. And then I say, what do these bells sound like? And the kids will say, jing, 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 jing. I go, prove it. Where in there does it say jing, jing, jing? Oh, I don't know. In the word sprinkle, in the word tinkle, in the word jink, in the jink, 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 jink. The next word is hear the mellow wedding bells, golden bells. They say, tell me how those bells sound. Don't look at the stanza, but gong, gong, and every word he uses. So this kind of goes back into our other lesson about language and the sound. The next one is the
fire, I think.
Yeah, the fire.
See?
Yeah. How they clang and clash and roar, what a horror they outpour to the palpitating rhythm of their gong or something like that. And it's kang, 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 kang. I mean, it's so alliterative. It's so an onomatopoeia. Just really, really, really great. How did I get into that? So yeah, everything we're teaching, it's the key to all language. So thank you for that. So
Michael, I wonder.
Yeah, go ahead.
I wonder if we should mention here that Shakespeare himself gives us a punctuation exercise of a hilarious kind in the person of the prologue in A Midsummer Night's Dream when he introduces the play.
Yes,
it's totally mispunctuated and subverts the meaning in just the same way that your example did at the beginning of this exercise.
You know what? That's fantastic, and it's the character prologue. He also mispronounces it, using that as an exercise. Shakespeare plays with himself in regards to that, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Do you all know what speech I'm talking about, or should I find that and send that to you too? Do you all know it?
It's Act 5, Scene 1, about line 108 through line 118. Act 5, Scene 1, right before the play within the play begins.
Yeah. It's when he comes out and he's dressing them. And I had never thought of that from a punctuation perspective. Stolen, done, implemented.
Put it in.
I will send that one to you too, in addition to Edgar Allan Poe's The Bells. I'll send that as well. The last one is on the assessment. Students will select a monologue on the monologue page, and then they will phrase it, and then with a scene partner, they will act it out. And so that's what we do with that exercise. I will tell you that this is demoed in the videos, and they add another element to it. So they do some, and maybe you've seen this exercise. You do one type of gesture for a exclamation point. You do another type of gesture for this. You do another type of gesture for this. I mean, it's multiple gestures that you add in. This exercise, or these exercises, are a little simpler as you run in to each of those. Let me jump back here. Everybody doing okay? Any other comments?